We have been discussing the verdict of the three poll-bound states of Nagaland, Meghalaya and Tripura. No surprises as such in terms of who is the chief minister. We have seen in Meghalaya, Congress has come out victorious. In Tripura, the CPM has retained, and in Nagaland, Rio, the three kingmakers, the chief ministers, are intact. But results, there are little bit surprises because we see in terms of the result increase in the number, increase in the sheet shares, which we see in all the three election-bound states. Well, to discuss all this, we have eminent journalists. We have Suman Chakravarti from Delhi, who is in the panel. We have Ratnadeep Chaudhary, who is Chief of Bureau for Tehelka magazine. So both of them, welcome to the show. Well, I think we will start with Meghalaya before we talk about how it has been. I spoke to the Didi Lapang, a very eminent Congress leader who is the former Chief Minister of Meghalaya. Let's hear how he reacts on the results. With 30 seats in Meghalaya, what is your initial reactions?
It appears that the general population of Meghalaya have faith and confidence in the Congress ideology and program. I am very happy for that.
Meghalaya's Congress has not projected the Chief Minister, so you have been the former Chief Minister of the state. So today, after the results, do you think that you will also put your recommendation to the High Command for the Chief Minister's chair, or Meghalaya's incumbent Chief Minister Mukul Sangma will continue as the Chief Minister?
We adopt the procedure. There's no such thing. That approach is wrong. We are a democratic party, and we meet the MLAs and CLP meeting and select one leader. That's all.
So, sir,
no controversy, nothing of the sort. Okay?
Sir, Congress will stake claim to form the government today or in days to come, or when, if you have the input?
Well, that is yet to say. We have just not arrived. The CLP meeting will be there, and then up to the governor to invite.
Okay, so but you believe that independence, because you have 30 seats, you will have the independence, or maybe any other party like UDP or
too early to comment on that. It's not an individual decision; it's collective decision. We always go by collective decision. Right?
So when we just heard Meghalaya's former Chief Minister, a very eminent Congress leader from Meghalaya, Didi Lapang, he is saying that High Command will decide. So we have been talking out through the day that Mukul Sangma is likely to retain as the Chief Minister of Meghalaya, 29 seats for the Congress. What is your reaction at this moment now?
I think we called it right in the morning, and we had said that anti-incumbency is not a factor in all the three states that went to the polls. So clearly the big news out of these three states is Meghalaya, because Meghalaya, we have seen over the years, there has hardly been any stable government. There has been so many chief ministers, I think 44 since the state was formed, and chief ministers changing is a very common practice in Meghalaya. This time it seems that Meghalaya has voted for stability for the first time, because and under a new charismatic leader. That's one point where Mukul Sangma seems to have retained his Chief Minister's chair, as we were hearing Mr. Lapang, the former Chief Minister, saying that it's a democratic party, we can take a call. 10 Janpat, the High Command in Delhi will take a call possibly, but Mukul's stakes are very high in Delhi, I can tell you that, with the Congress High Command. But the bigger story is, that's not the only story out of Meghalaya. The bigger story is the downfall of Purno Sangma, the stalwart from Meghalaya, the man without whom an election in Meghalaya could not be, envisaged. We had never envisaged in our career. And now it seems that with a change of party, forming a new party, either that has not gone down in terms of, people have not recognized that Purno Sangma, his party is no longer the NCP. They have failed to reach out to the masses and tell them that we have formed a new party and please vote. The ballot was not cast on that, or it's a story about the downfall of Purno Sangma in many ways. His son has lost, Conrad has lost. So, I mean, clearly it seems even that individual factor has not worked for Purno Sangma and his family.
Well, Suman, if you see the situation in Meghalaya, now we have the regional party, the HSPDP and the UDP, which has got 8 and 4 seats respectively, 12 in total if we can club together. But now Congress has 29 seats. In such a situation, how do we see, the opposition coming in, or how the opposition will play up in such a situation? Because NCP earlier, led by Conrad Sangma, was a strong opposition which we could see in Meghalaya, but now under the present scenario, we don't see that Meghalaya will have any strong opposition.
Isn't Meghalaya just a unique state in the whole country where the main opposition after the election results have come out now seems to be a chunk of independents who have no relation to each other? Well, so, which is not there in any other state in this I
think Ratnadev has something to share on this.
Well, if you look at this Meghalaya results, this is very indicative that the people of Meghalaya has voted for Congress because Congress's seat has increased. If you compare the results, in 2008 elections, Congress has won 25 seats. Now they have won 29 seats. So they have increased their tally by 4 seats. But what is more important is that the vote swing in favor of Congress and as well as in favor of certain independent candidates is at the cost of regional parties in Meghalaya, like the UDP, which had won at that point of time in 2008 14 seats. It is down to 8 now. And also the NCP. The NCP obviously broke into 2 parts, rather a smaller chunk was left in NCP. They managed 2 seats, and PA Sangma's NPP could manage 2 seats. So basically, somewhere down the line, when we were covering the election campaigning, Chief Minister Mukul Sangma had been telling his voters that this is time for Meghalaya to vote a single party to power. I think somewhere down the line that message has gone, and the regional players, the regional parties, remember parties like UDP have always been either spoilers in a government or kingmakers. Even NCP in there, for that matter of fact, the smaller parties, their vote share has decreased and it has gone to influential individuals, influential independent candidates and some rebel candidates from various parties.
And clearly it seems that UDP cannot perform that role anymore. The role of the kingmaker, they are out of reckoning.
Because we have independents, a 13 number of seats being won by independents.
Yeah, I mean, so clearly, 2 independents have to jump ship for Mukul Sangma or whoever the Congress party decides to form a government. So clearly, this time that whole factor of horse trading in terms of people jumping ship, defections happening, it seems that would not be the case this time, because it seems it's a very easy choice. 2 or 3 independents have to jump ship because nobody else can form a government.
Well, now we see that in Meghalaya, which we have seen that in the last so many years of electioneering, 1 woman candidate in the last assembly. Earlier also, before Amperin, we had Deborah Marak. This time Deborah Marak has won from Williamnagar constituency. Amperin Lingdo has retained her seat, and we have 4 women candidates who are actually won the elections, 2 from the Congress and 2 from the other parties. So in such a scenario, how do you see that women will play a role? Because we are all talking about women power, women's reservation, women's representation in politics. Just your personal comment on that.
Well, absolutely, that's a fantastic news as far as Meghalaya is concerned, because all this while going into the elections, we have been reporting that Meghalaya has a unique matrilineal society in this country, but women, when it comes to taking part in politics, active politics, they don't get their dues. So if in Meghalaya now we have 4 candidates, women candidates who have been able to win, that's good news. I think somewhere the voters in Meghalaya this time have changed their way they have voted to a certain extent, and perhaps they're looking forward to a stable government, because in the last 3 years that Mukul Sangma has been a chief minister, he has been able to take certain projects to the rural areas of Meghalaya, particularly Garo Hills, his strong bastion. And this time this was also a fight in Garo Hills about the survival of PA Sangma and his family, and Mukul Sangma, who is somewhere down the line becoming the next biggest political character in Garo Hills. He has already given a huge chase to PA Sangma, and perhaps he has slowly started to take away his place in Garo Hills politics. It's too early to say, but at least these results are indicative.
And Sumon, I would like to put it in this way, that NPP's defeat which we see today, does that mean that PA Sangma, who enjoyed that charisma in Meghalaya, in Garo Hills, he has been the strong man, his name was enough to win election, but today after the result, when Conrad itself has defeated, do you think that NPP or PA Sangma should take a political break?
Well, I don't know about political break, because usually politicians do not go on a break. So a political break is usually happens when you have no options left. But is the Sangma family in that condition right now after this heavy defeat? I don't know right now. You are from Meghalaya, you would possibly be able to assess the situation better. But I can tell you one thing, the biggest factor is possibly not just the NPP getting 2 seats, but also Conrad losing. I think Sangmas at least believe that even if the NPP, the new party, they could not, even if they could not take the new party down to the voters, where the voters would recognize the party symbol and cast their ballot where it matters, somewhere down the line, Conrad Sangma, Purno Sangma's son, his name was enough. As you said, at one given point in time, the Purno Sangma's name was enough to win elections. I mean, in that context, at least Conrad was there, his face was there, and his name was there.
But,
so
but the NPP's argument, like after the votings were held, that people have voted for NCP because it was difficult for many candidates, in especially remote areas where people go by face value, people don't look at party. The case was with P.A. Sangma, which he always had claimed. But today we see that the results are there for us, and the NPP has badly defeated. So will the political pundits or will anybody buy this, that people have cross-voted on NCP or something like that, because that was
was that a strategic mistake then by Purno Sangma to leave NCP before the elections?
In fact, it seems that it was a strategic mistake on the part of Purno Sangma to leave NCP at a point of time when the elections were hardly 6 months away, and after that also he took a bit of more time in terms of launching his party. The moment he decided to contest the presidential election, he came out of NCP, and that was in a way was a clever move, because he was running at that point of time a race to win another race, which was this, which he has lost the race today. So that if contesting the presidential polls was a masterstroke by P.A. Sangma to suddenly come back to the limelight, come back to focus, in that way his core constituency, the Garo Hills stronghold of P.A. Sangma, they would again start remembering him. And that was, and this kind of fillip is required when you are trying to build up a new party. He started that well, but somewhere down the line, the way he launched his party, I guess he took too much of time, and then all round throughout the campaigning, it seemed that the momentum of campaigning, because we were in Garo Hills, somewhere the magic of Purno Sangma was even missing during the campaigning.